What's up, y'all? GoofyRhexxi here, and hope everybody is doing well. And finally, we're doing our roster review video, roster review update video. We were supposed to do this in April, and unfortunately just didn't really have the time. Things in the line. We had the patch. So there's a lot of stuff going on where I wasn't able to make an updated video. So we're going to be talking about my roster today, doing an update on the roster review, an update on my roster here today. With a lot of stuff to talk about. So one of the biggest topics for me is like character overload right now and trying to figure out how to overcome that. I'll talk about that here in this video. I'll give you an update on my Darkhold team, sort of where they are right now. T4s, ISOs, we have made a little bit of changes here. So we're going to be talking about that in this video as well. What to focus on, like main focus is this patch, right? There's Young Avengers, there's A-Force, there's Inhumans, there's Wakandans. What to focus on right now in this patch as we sort of move forward here, the Unlimited X-Men team. I'll give you an update quickly on my Cosmic Crucible teams. There were some changes there. If you saw the previous video that I did on the channel, that may be beneficial to you depending on when you watch this video. I'll talk about T2 ISO level 4, like what my recommendation is in regards to the character that you probably should equip your ISO level 4, your T2 ISO level 4 on, and then a Dark Dimension 5 update. I'll give you guys that as well. So let's actually dive into it, guys. So in terms of days played, just to kind of give you a quick update on that, we are currently sitting at 1,078 days right now. So we're 2 days away from hitting 1,080 days, which means that we're going to be able to get 5 gold orbs. The other stuff, cool. I'm glad to have it, but I really care about the 5 gold orbs there because I'm starting to hurt a little bit on gold here. I'm at 2.04 million, and you're like, hey, that's fine, but based on where I usually am at, a lot of you guys have seen it. Usually I'm at like 7-8 million plus for my resources here, so kind of tough for them. I'm there right now, but like I said, I wanted to talk about character overload, right? And not just complain about it, but really talking about how to overcome character overload. There's a lot going on this patch right now. This is a 12 character patch, and we essentially, it's a rework to the full Wakandan team. That's 5 characters there. If you have, most likely a lot of you guys like me didn't invest into the entire team, probably only invested into Shuri. So what should you do there, right? We have a rework to 2 A-Force characters, Jessica Jones, Captain Marvel. We have 2 new characters that are going to be added to that team. We have the Unlimited X-Men team that's going to be coming as well. So quite a bit of things to work on where that is concerned. And we've been seeing these massive patches now over the past couple months where there's just been a lot of there's new characters and then there's reworks. And as we talked about before, reworks require investment as well, especially if you haven't invested into them, because some of those characters weren't good in the meta. So what do you do and how do you overcome that? I think, honestly, this is probably going to be obvious to you, but I want to say it anyways. Play at your own pace. I know it's very challenging and daunting a task when you see other players like myself. Maybe a lot of it probably might be CCs, right? Like us as CCs, we upgrade characters. Well, I'm not particularly me because I don't really upgrade characters on day one, but a lot of people will see things showcased on day one that may not be realistic for you. So I wouldn't try to target upgrading character on day one, upgrading character as soon as they come out, just for the sake, because your resources may not be there. And there may be other priorities that you currently do have, right? Like, are your raid teams done? Is your arena team done? Are you ready for the next legendary unlock? Things like that are probably what you want to focus on. Dark Dimension, maybe. If you're at a lower level, you probably want to focus on characters for your campaigns. Really, I would say do it slow. This is not a sprint. This is a marathon, and kind of understand that and make sure that you are watching your resources, right? What are you getting on a day-by-day basis? What is realistic for you to spend so that you're not overutilizing your resources? I talk about how many times I only spend 1.5 to 1.7 million a day because I want to make sure that if I do need to do a big bulk upgrade, that I do have resources available. Yes, you saw my 2 million gold that's kind of dwindling, but I also have 41 gold orbs. Payday is coming, so I'm really mindful of what I'm spending, what I'm getting in as an allotment, right? And then what I can spend to make sure that I'm not depleting anything overly. But of course, a lot of that's very hard because we have these new characters that are trait specific. But it's really about playing at your own pace, not trying to do everything all at once, and focusing on what the top priorities are. So that's my TED Talk for today. But let's dive into some other things here. Darkhold, and sort of like the update for this team right now. So this is where my Darkhold team is at the moment. They're all at level 85, gear tier 15. We had Scarlet Witch. I think we talked about this the last time, maybe, that we brought Scarlet Witch up to 80 and 15. Kind of a regret, because I really don't use her on this team often unless I'm using her in war. That's essentially it. But we did change some things up a little bit here in terms. So ISOs are the same. We still have Skirmisher on Agatha, Scarlet Witch, Morgan Le Fay, Striker on Wong, and then of course the Raider ISO there on Doctor Strange Heartless. But one of the things that we did change was team placement. So previously, before, the way that I had recommended to have your placement on this team is to have Wong in between Agatha, having Agatha in between Wong, and then also having Agatha in between Morgan, so that whenever Agatha would do a basic attack, that she would call Wong would then clear a negative effect off the allies. But I've found that recently that I've actually been losing a lot of matchups doing it that way. So when I've actually made the switch to put her in between Doctor Strange Heartless and also Morgan Le Fay, that my match percentage, my win percentage, has actually gone up quite a bit. And that's because I'm getting a little bit more of a damage output from Doctor Strange, and it's helping me to kind of dwindle down characters a little bit faster. So while, yes, I am losing a little bit of the buff clears by not getting the extra attacks from Wong with his basic whenever Agatha, kind of calls adjacent targets to attack, I am getting overall more damage, which is allowing me to be able to mow characters down faster and allowing me to be able to get through that a little bit more efficiently. So wanted to share that because I thought that was important, because it's something that I made a recommendation on before. So kind of wanted to talk about that as well. And we have we're facing some Dormammu teams right now, and I want to do a quick shout out to Dalbert, who has a video up kind of talking about, this is it right here. I'll share a link, but he made a video talking about the best arena team against Dormammu, like the Dormhold teams, which is a combination of Cersei, Icarus, Emma, Morgan Le Fay, and also Agatha Harkness. Really good comp, and this is a video here. I will link it down in the description. I think Mobile also made a video about it as well. Kind of talked about it. This has been the way that I've been able to beat the Dormhold teams, because obviously I don't have Dormammu myself. I can't use Dormammu against Dormammu, so therefore I've had to find other ways to be able to beat them. And this is the comp that's being used right now. Skirmisher on everyone except for Icarus, who does stay a striker. That is basically what I've been running to get it done. I have also still used this team too, like Mr. Sinister. It does work. Actually, no, that might be a different comp. This is definitely the one that works the most right now. This is actually what I'm using often. So definitely that's probably the route that I would go here. But that's Darkhold update. Let's talk about some other things. All right, so shifting gears here, wanted to talk about the main focuses that I have for this patch here. And it's going to be, so between Young Avengers, A-Force, and Humans, what am I going to be, Wakandans, what am I going to be focusing on here? And I'm focusing on Scourge all the way. That I'm not really focusing on Cosmic Crucible at all. That's not really as important to me. I'm really focusing on building out my roster for the Scourge event for Famine, which is going to be in patch 6.2. So my main team that I'm going to be investing into is going to be the Young Avengers. And I've already started to do that already. As a matter of fact, I'm kind of done with respect to Kate Bishop. I'm going to be bringing her up to level 85. I have Miss Marvel, Squirrel Girl at G15, and I'm leaving Chavez and Echo at level 80 and gear tier 14. Now, the question probably for you is like, what do I do if I don't have Echo and Kate Bishop for the Scourge event? Who should I be focusing on? And my recommendation, I talked about this already in the weekly headliner, I think this week, but I think where my thoughts are is Spider-Man Miles already has the Young Avenger tag. He also has a Hero Brawler tag and will synergize pretty well here with Miss Marvel. So I probably would go in that direction to invest into Miles. Miles also does some pretty nice stuff with his kit here. He has a dispel on his basic. He also can reduce speed bar with his special, can apply slow. I like his disrupt with his O. He can also apply defense down with his passive. Whenever he does take a turn, it's a random enemy, but it still definitely can be useful and helpful. So definitely probably go in that direction with Squirrel Girl, Miss Marvel, Spider-Man Miles, America Chavez. You could also add in Captain Marvel. She is an A-Force character. You do need Young Avengers, A-Force, or in Humans, right, to be able to do the Scourge event for Famine. So in my opinion, I would probably throw in Captain Marvel. She has that Hero Brawler synergy, right, with Miss Marvel. Miss Marvel will be able to assist on her attacks. So therefore, I would probably go in that direction as sort of like your main team. You know, Squirrel Girl, Miss Marvel, Miles, America Chavez, and Captain Marvel, sort of like a hero brawler team, if you want to call it that. Now, my secondary investment, I do want to invest into 2 teams for the Scourge event, because the last event, I did at least need a 4-person second team to go in and sack for that last node to be able to get through it. So I'm going to invest into A-Force and a combination of some Inhuman characters, and I'll talk about that here. So Jessica Jones, Captain Marvel, Black Bolt, Yo-Yo, and yes, I'm going to be adding in Spider-Woman into that comp as well. And I'll talk a little bit about why, although I may still leave her off because I don't really know if I really want to invest into another bio character, but I'll talk about the reason why I'm at least considering her. But JJ with her rework, Captain Marvel with their reworks, I think are going to be formidable in the Scourge event. Obviously, the more damage from Captain Marvel, the turn 1 ult is going to be really good. JJ with the ability energy giving. I think also what's kind of slept on is her ultimate attack. Her ultimate also has a dispel, so clear 3 positive effects. If you T4 it, you're going to be able to clear all positive effects with her ult, and her damage, it's not like huge, but at G14 it's a significant boost in my opinion to her damage. So therefore, I do think that there's going to be some value there with investments in her, but really being able to give that ability energy from the basic and also from her special can also cleanse, I think it's going to be largely impactful. So in my opinion, I definitely would say that JJ is a good character to invest into. I also do want to mention this too, like in her passive, she does give a little bit of so maybe if you wanted to make a comp with like Miss Marvel and Squirrel Girl, she does give some additional resistance to some city characters. So maybe that might be something to consider if you want to probably use maybe JJ and CM with Miss Marvel, Squirrel Girl, America Chavez, if you kind of wanted to go that route in terms of investment there. But just kind of wanted to give you sort of that option. Or if you already invested into Miles does also have that city tag, so that could also work as some synergy there too. But I digress. The reason why I'm going to be investing into Spider-Woman is right now she's broken. Her passive is working outside of war. She's supposed to be able to reduce the accuracy of the enemy character whenever they do have offense down. But that's only supposed to work in war. It's right now working outside of war, so therefore I'm kind of thinking about investing into her a little bit as a secondary team, because I think that may actually be impactful enough and helpful. I realized in the last node that she was actually in the last node for the Pestilence Scourge event, that part of my downfall is that I wasn't able to kill enough characters, so it made it a little challenging. I had to go back into node 10 multiple times to try to kill a couple characters, so it kind of got a little frustrated at times. So maybe I want to invest into a 5th character, maybe not. This may be a game time decision. That's the reason why she's still at level 25. I'm gonna be going with JJ, Captain Marvel, Black Bolt, and Yo-Yo first, and then we may consider Spider-Woman, maybe game time decision at the very end if I feel like I need her, because of that passive is broken. It's going to synergize very well with Yo-Yo. Yo-Yo is going to be able to throw offense down, which means that with her passive being broken, it's going to impact their accuracy by 25% whenever that enemy takes a turn. So there could be some small little nice little synergy there. So therefore I am considering Spider-Woman, but we'll still leave it as sort of a game time decision. Now, what about the other characters? I will say Crystal probably may be a decent option too if you care about it, right? So JJ, Captain Marvel, maybe Crystal, Black Bolt, and Yo-Yo could work, or you could probably make a team work with Squirrel Girl, Miss Marvel, Yo-Yo, Black Bolt, CM, right? If you're kind of doing some lower levels and you're not really worried about difficulty 5, that could also work too, because those characters that I just mentioned are free to play characters, because Spider-Woman, Nico, these characters are not free to play, right? You're gonna have to Echo, Kate Bishop, like those characters are going to be hard to get if you weren't around for their events, or if you just got really low stars in them. Those are kind of that's the direction that I would go in. Now, in regards to like Wakandans, I'm not really doing anything with the Wakandans at all. I did bring them up, if you want to put it that way, but we kind of did, right? We brought up M'Baku, Black Panther, and Okoye to level 65 in Gear Tier 12. Actually, I lied. Black Panther was already at Gear Tier 12. Okoye and M'Baku I brought up to level 65 in Gear Tier 12. They were at 60. they were like 16 gear tier 10. So that was like what, 1.5 million gold or so. So it's still gold that was spent. But the reason why I brought them up just a little bit is just so that I can throw them on defense in Cosmic Crucible, but I didn't really want to go too hard on them, so therefore I kind of left them there. Killmonger and Black Panther were already here, and so was Shuri as well, because I was using her for the Doom raid content. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much basically where I'm going to leave them. That's where I'm going to leave them for a while. I just don't really feel that I need to invest into Cosmic Crucible at all. The rewards are okay. I think that they will be helpful, but there's just so many other things that I need to focus on in this patch. Scourge event first, and then we'll focus on some other things later. Unlimited X-Men, another Cosmic Crucible team. I don't really care that much about Cosmic Crucible, so therefore I am not going to be investing into them as well. Now, I do want to say the Wakandans are doing quite well right now on War Defense and Alliance War. They're actually a recommended team to throw into Room 5 in Cosmic Crucible on defense. So they definitely are valuable. I'm not telling you that the Wakandans are not good. I'm just telling you that based on where I'm at right now with my roster, that I'm not investing into them and the reasons why I'm not investing into them. Gambit, though, that boy gonna get some investment. The top 5 favorite Marvel character ever. I'm investing for. I don't even care if he was good. I probably would still invest into him anyways, just based on that. But I wanted to talk about my Cosmic Crucible teams and kind of just run through that really quickly. First, I want to say a big shout out to Athame. Athame is like the MVP right now because he's made so many suggestions. I made a video talked about Cosmic Crucible, and you know, there were some good recommendations there, but after talking to Athame, I made some adjustments, and really his wisdom has been invaluable. So I really want to give a shout out to him. I'll also link his Twitch page. He streams Marvel Strike Force content. I'll link that down in the description as well, but made some recommendations for some of the teams that I do have here right now. So these are my 6 defensive teams. I took some teams that were originally on defense, and I'm going to be using them on offense because I want to go a little bit more offensive heavy, because I want to be able to full clear rooms. I want to be able to do it as efficiently as possible. So therefore I kind of made some adjustments where that is concerned. But Web Warriors, I stuck in room 1, and due to recommendation from Athame, I threw in Symbiote Spider-Man here because Symbiote Spider-Man does give him a little bit of boost in terms of health. So therefore Spider-Punk doesn't really do much outside of raids. So there's going to be better value there by throwing in Symbiote Spider-Man. So that's the reason why he's there as well. And I also have my X-Men team on defense. I originally had Phoenix on this team, but due to recommendation from Athame, I have Ghost here because Ghost is with Bishop. Whenever he has that taunt, and if you hit him, he's gonna counter. And then if you have any sort of adjacent hits to Bishop, then Ghost is also going to counter as well. So you're going to get that double counter from both of these characters. So therefore, that's the reason why they are there. This room here, the reason why they're here is a lot of the counters to these characters will have defense up or deflect or evade. So therefore, that's the reason why this team is here in this room right now. Morbius can be sneaky powerful because of that turn 1 sort of ult, that turn 1 sort of initial speed that he does here. The recommendation was actually to switch out and put Scarlet Witch here, but I may need Scarlet Witch on offense. So I don't know if I want to make that decision as of yet. I don't really have an alternative to Scarlet Witch offensively. So therefore I didn't put her here, but the recommendation was that Scarlet Witch will help this team because of those negative effects that would trigger Ghost Rider's passive. So therefore it will boost the team if I had Scarlet Witch there. And Scarlet Witch also still has had that supernatural tag, so she will also get boosted as well. So therefore it's kind of one of those things where I'm still kind of teetering. Maybe I'll do it in a future Cosmic Crucible. We're gonna see how this team works out so far. This team here I threw together as well based on recommendations from Athame. Putting Black Bolt, Yo-Yo together, putting these characters together, you're getting a lot of speed here. I'm actually considering switching yo-yo to a Raider, because if she goes, whenever she goes first, right, then she's going to be able to speed up these two characters. Actually, so I think I might switch her to Raider, although I am concerned that she may not be able to land her offense down. So I'm kind of teetering in regards to what I want to do there. And then Hawkeye is here to help with some speed bar reduction. If he does, once again, he goes quickly. If he does crit, it will also speed this team up as well. So this is kind of one of those fast teams that can do a lot of damage. And then in this room, if any of the characters that you're going to want to try to use to counter this team are probably going to be a speed team, right? And if they have any sort of speed up mechanic on them, if they gain speed up, then it's gonna clear all positive effects on them, apply to in terms of slow and trauma. So therefore they may cause a little bit of a problem. So that's the reason why I have that team there in room 4. Cosmic Catastrophe, this is just a nightmare. A lot of so for Wakandans, they do really well in this room, because a lot of the teams that counter this right now are cosmic options. Now there is a counter out there that is Young Avengers, so that's actually the reason why I don't have my Young Avengers on defense anymore. I put my Young Avengers on offense, because just in case I do come across any sort of Wakandans on defense in this room 5, I want to be able to counter them with my Young Avengers team. Although America Chavez is on the team, we would just swap her out for maybe like Shang-Chi, or you can even probably still just leave America Chavez there, because in this room, any cosmic character, whenever an ally takes a turn, it reduces their speed bar by 50%. So essentially any cosmic character that comes into this room is not going to be able to take a turn, and a lot of the counters to this team are cosmic related. So therefore it just makes this team so dynamic, and they're very fast. They do a lot of burst damage. So therefore this could pose a problem even at lower levels in this room. So that's the reason why I have them there. And then time dampening, I have my new warriors. They're kind of the best option here. It would also, the other option for me would have also been Infinity Watch, but I decided to go against that because I want my Infinity Watch for offense, right? So I don't really want to throw them on defense. But yeah, so new warriors are here with Silver Surfer. Although Silver Surfer in this room will not get the speed bar increase whenever an enemy, well, actually no, he'll be fine. Whenever an enemy takes a turn, Mr. Sinister is essentially just here that just in case there's a character that he can clone a character that could definitely be detrimental. So I kind of just threw this team here. This is a recommendation. This tandem is also amazing too, and because Deathpool is here, they'll all have that boosted focus to be able to land their debuffs because of Silver Surfer. So that's what I have on defense right now. I'll show you really quickly what I've saved for offense to just talk about that really quickly. So I have my Secret Avengers with Shang-Chi. I may switch that up and use Nick Fury. It all depends, because I may want to use Shang-Chi against a big Wakandan team with my Young Avengers. If I do face a big Wakandan team, Infinity Watch, I just want to be able to save them to maybe do an attack. I might need them for room 6, or I might need them right for room 3, because room 3 does have those deflects and things as well. They will be safeguarded against that, so I kind of wanted to save them for that reason. Kind of a similar thing too here with using my Darkhold team. Kind of one of the reasons why I have them save as well is just to be able to kind of negate some of those negative effects. Now, Darkhold probably won't do well in a room like the Cosmic Catastrophe, because essentially, Doctor Strange won't ever be able to take a turn there, but you can always swap him out for another character. But I wanted to go heavier on offense. That's the reason why I saved these teams here. I saved my Eternals comp with Zemo. I have Weapon X, although I'm not quite sure exactly where they're going to do well, because some of those rooms are definitely a direct counter to them. Young Avengers we saved obviously for just in case we do face a Wakandan's team. Black Hoarders here, and then I do have sort of just in case Shadowland, right? Just as sort of like a cleanup team, just in case something does not go well. That's essentially what I currently have right now. And then I do have a couple other characters that are around too, like I have Doom, I have Star-Lord T'Challa. That could be some plug and play characters as well, depending on what sort of matchups I do face. So I do have those characters kind of sitting on reserve right now. Next thing I want to talk about was T2 ISO level 4, sort of what my recommendations are in regards to who you should be investing your first Who we should be bringing up first to T2 ISO level 4, Morgan Le Fay. I think is probably going to be the first and only option for me, really, because I'm worried about somebody else, right, investing and bringing up their Morgan Le Fay and putting that extra focus, because they get what, extra 10% focus, extra 10% resistance, extra 10% damage. Like the focus and resistance are big ones, right? So therefore, for me, I definitely think Morgan is probably the best option to go with to invest your T2 ISO level 4 blue ISO on, because just because of just the arena shard right now and being able to land those debuffs. If you don't land the ability block on Morgan Le Fay, the matchup goes pretty much awry from that moment on. So therefore, I just think it's so imperative to sort of have your ability block be able to land. Which is the reason why I do run Loki a lot with this team, to make sure that I'm able to land that ability block. Yes, I'm losing a little bit of damage. Yes, I'm losing a little bit of control, but I'm also gaining a little bit of control as well by being able to land an ability block and a disrupt on Morgan Le Fay. That's what would be my recommendation. Some did mention probably Wong, just because sometimes people do try to stun Wong, and that may also be a reason to do it as well. But I think Morgan is probably the best way to go in terms of focus and resistance. That's the reason why I'm recommending Morgan. And then lastly, guys, I wanted to talk about Dark Dimension 5 and sort of where I'm at right now with my Dark Dimension teams. So I am completely done with City. We are currently right now looking to push into Global, and this actually happened this morning. So we're actually going to we finally got the pieces that we needed. It was this piece right here. Oh, good God, where is it at? So much orange gear. That's pretty good though. Pretty good, but this right here, we finally got that last piece. We literally needed 169 in order to be able to get her into Dark Dimension 5. She's the last character that I need for Global. So we're finally upgrading her now, and we're going to be able to start our Global process when it comes to Dark Dimension. Unfortunately, though, me equipping that piece of gear on Sharon Carter only means that I'm going to have to wait that much longer now to be able to get Kestrel sort of the gear that she needs. And as you can see, we're essentially going to be starting from kind of square one where it comes to that. So that's going to kind of suck. So we're going to be waiting quite a while before we're probably going to be able to get into Cosmic. We're still thinking about bringing in Kestrel and T'Challa and also Magic and Cersei into Cosmic. So we're going to be waiting a while anyways, because Cersei, I am hurting right now on the mini uniques. I need 54 of both of these pieces in order to be able to get them in. So we're going to be waiting for quite some time, but that's pretty much basically where we are for our Dark Dimension 5 update. So yeah, I went through a lot of this stuff really quickly, guys, but of course, if you have any questions about anything, let me know. I want to say this again. I'm not trying to be an expert at anything here in Marvel Strike Force. What I am is just sharing sort of my experience that I'm having right now, the things that I'm invested into, what I think about, you know, what some of the things that maybe you should invest into depending on how your play style is. But always take a look at your roster and see where you are and see what you need to do in terms of priorities. Right now, priority for me is really just Dark Dimension. It's Scourge first, and then Dark Dimension. That's really ultimately it for me. Arena team is done. Raid teams are done. War, we piece that together so that as we move forward here, really my main focus right now is Scourge and preparing to be able to get that Famine Scourge. So think about that whenever you're making investments into your roster as well, guys. But listen, appreciate you guys watching the video. Leave a comment, like. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already. Hit the notification bell so that you know when my videos do go live, guys. But until next time, y'all be blessed. Y'all be safe. Bye. Oh, we're going to be waiting a long time to see even start Cosmic. Wee.